Right now, you have an opportunity to help the city of Fitchburg leaders plan more attainable housing options.
And the Air Force confirms they are investigating the medical discharge of a member of the 115th Fighter Wing who raised concerns about sexual misconduct.
Plus, the Beloit Snappers are on the MLB's chopping block as they work to consolidate, but team officials hope a new stadium can save them.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for joining us tonight. The population of Dane County is expected to increase by about 60,000 people by the year 2040. Fitchburg is projected to grow by 10,000 in that time frame.
Now, they're updating their comprehensive plan for the future. Madeline O'Neill tells us why one group is advocating for more housing options. Maddie?
Fitchburg is hosting an open house tonight, inviting citizens to learn more, ask questions, and offer feedback on the comprehensive plan before it's officially adopted next year. That plan has a lot of implications. It guides all sorts of growth and development for the next 20 years.
This is a big moment for Fitchburg, anybody that cares about how it's going to develop in the future.
Robert Proctor says now is the time to start building the foundation, especially when it comes to housing.
The housing in Fitchburg is very expensive.
He represents the coalition Fair Housing Fitchburg, which is advocating for more attainable housing in the city for everyone from senior citizens to millennials.
We often ask people, do you want your kids to live with you until they're ready to buy a house? And, obviously most people say no and say, well, they have to live somewhere.
Proctor hopes Fitchburg citizens will get involved before the city's plans are set in stone.
We're always trying to look 20 years ahead to get to our desired future.
Every 10 years, state law requires cities like Fitchburg to update their comprehensive plans.
The most succinct, simple terms, we like to say where and how growth is going to happen.
City planner Sonia Kriesel says that means continuing urban development while hanging on to Fitchburg's rural character.
It's big. You're balancing a lot of competing factors.
With an estimated population growth of 5,000 people per decade, the plan also means laying the groundwork for housing needs.
Our comprehensive plan and our recently adopted housing plan continue to encourage just a balanced mix of housing and complete neighborhoods where people can move up the ladder.
Proctor wants to make sure that ladder has space for everyone.
What we need is more housing, and it needs to be planned well.
Housing is just one aspect of the plan. Some feedback city planners are considering from residents is a desire for a city center and more walkable access to businesses and schools in certain neighborhoods. Tonight's open house starts at 6:30 in the City Hall Commons chambers.
Madeline, thank you.
All right, fog was an issue this morning. Will we see more of that? Let's check your first alert forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Eric, I don't think we have to worry about the fog because the winds will pick up. It'll become quite windy and mild for tonight. We'll also see some rain on the way. High temperatures as warm as they've been in quite a while. 45 here in Madison. That's the first time since October 27th our high temperature has been above the average high temperature. The average high for today is 42, but it hit 50 in Janesville and Mineral Point. Current temperatures are in the upper 30s to the middle 40s. These temperatures will probably start rising later on. High resolution Doppler radar doesn't show any rain around here, but some rain moving into southwestern Iowa will be here by around midnight. Temperatures will start climbing later on tonight, and by tomorrow morning, look for temperatures to climb into the upper 40s to around 50 by lunchtime. With the rain coming to an end, then it'll turn windy and colder tomorrow afternoon as temperatures drop back through the 40s. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes quiet weather for the weekend, but a storm that we have to watch from Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
Gary, thank you. Two people are recovering from minor injuries from a head-on crash involving a semi. Happened about 7:30 this morning near Brooklyn at the intersection of Highway 92 at Glenway Road. As you can tell from the video, it was quite foggy when it happened, but officials haven't specified the cause. It took about 2 hours to clear that scene. One of two people involved in shooting a 16-year-old in the leg near La Follette High School last year has now been sentenced. Happened in September of 2018 during a prearranged fight. 22-year-old Dewan Briggs was found guilty of party to a crime of first-degree recklessly endangering safety and reckless injury. A judge sentenced him to 4 years in prison with 6 years probation.
4 to 5 members of UW-Eau Claire's football team have been suspended over a racist Snapchat message. The message mentioned a black male empowerment group on campus and showed an image of a burning cross and KKK members. The chancellor says he's outraged and disgusted, and an investigation will determine their future on the football team. A new Marquette Law School poll shows a change in who Wisconsinites support in a hypothetical presidential election matchup. President Trump has 3-point leads over former Vice President Biden, Senator Sanders, and Senator Elizabeth Warren. He has an 8-point lead over Mayor Buttigieg. In October, Biden, Sanders, and Warren had small leads over Trump, and Buttigieg trailed by 2 percentage points.
Testing is finally finished on thousands of unanalyzed sexual assault evidence kits in Wisconsin. 4,471 kits have been tested. So far, the evidence has led to a dozen criminal cases. Attorney General Josh Call announced today Wisconsin has won $1.8 million in federal grants to continue investigating those cases. That money will also go to funding a kit tracking system. Community members are remembering the more than 300 transgender people killed across the globe in just 1 year. On the Capitol steps today, participants read the names of people who have died by anti-transgender violence. That's according to a report by the Human Rights Campaign. At least 22 trans and gender nonconforming people have been killed in the United States so far this year alone. The Day of Remembrance has been acknowledged across the country now for the past 20 years.
Drunk drivers who kill someone in Wisconsin will now face a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years. Governor Evers signed the Republican-authored bill today. Judges can sentence someone to less than 5 years if he or she finds a compelling reason. The Department of Corrections estimates the change will generate an additional $525,000 in annual operating costs. An update now to a story we brought you only on News 3 Now last night. The Air Force confirmed today in a letter to Senator Tammy Baldwin there is an ongoing investigation into the medical discharge of Master Sergeant Jay Ellis. Ellis is alleging the Guard is trying to discharge him for coming forward about sexual misconduct at the local base. That discharge won't be finalized until the investigation is complete.
In Rock County, Beloit police are asking for help finding a teen. 18-year-old Jeremiah Young was last heard from yesterday morning when he was walking to Beloit Memorial High School. Officials say he is cognitively delayed. He was last seen about 1.5 miles away from the high school on White Avenue. Pro Baseball is restructuring its minor league system and cutting ties with dozens of teams in the process.
Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us with how the Beloit Snappers are trying to stay in the lineup.
Yeah, Eric and Charlotte, it was just this past month that the Beloit Snappers announced they were selling in the team and building a brand new stadium in the process. But now they're asking the question, is that enough for the MLB to keep them around?
Well, it might just look like an empty field. Those with Hendricks commercial properties are hopeful it won't in the near future. But that future can't officially start until the sale of the Snappers to philanthropist Quint Studer goes through.
All of these formal documents will be simultaneously executed, and it really starts with the approval of the ownership transfer.
The team's current home not meeting the standards of minor league baseball. Now the league has announced it's looking to consolidate, cutting 40 teams with facilities like this. Simply put, the future of the Snappers in Beloit relies on their sale and new stadium being on time.
It's full throttle ahead. No one is slowing down, and we are all working hard to meet these deadlines.
If all goes according to plan, it will be another minor league team in Iowa losing its affiliation instead of the Snappers. Those involved with the plans moving forward say they're confident.
Yes, while it's certainly a risk, we're very confident because of the people and places involved that we're going to get this deal done.
The team sale will likely go through next month. From there, those with Hendricks commercial properties say things will start to move, and quickly. And that empty field will be much more for decades to come.
Now, the MLB is looking to cut ties with those 40 minor league teams by the end of the 2020 season, or October of next year. And the Beloit Snappers' new stadium is hopefully going to be done by spring training of the following year, so just about 6 months later. So a very tight turnaround, but those involved tonight say they are confident they can make it.
All right, Adam Duxter in Rock County. Adam, thank you.
More local news now. Second Harvest Food Bank is able to feed 13,750 more people who struggle with hunger, thanks to a donation from Bimbo Bakeries, Tyson Foods, and Walmart. The companies donated 10,000 pounds of chicken and 5,000 pounds of bread. The donation will help people across the 16 counties Second Harvest serves.
It'll make an impact on a mother that's trying to figure out what to serve her family for dinner some night. Or a child that comes home from school, they can now make a sandwich to hold them over until dinner comes, till mom and dad come home.
1 in 10 people struggle with hunger in southern Wisconsin.
Goodman Community Center on Madison's east side is preparing to pack up thousands of Thanksgiving baskets, making sure families don't go hungry this holiday. News 3 Now is a proud partner of that effort. Every week, the food pantry serves hundreds of people. But for the first time this year, Goodman is distributing nearly 4,000 baskets with turkeys and all the fixings. About half of the 23,000 Dane County residents helped buy these baskets, in fact, are children. The biggest needs, turkeys and monetary donations. $70 can actually cover an entire Thanksgiving meal. Goodman also accepting canned veggies and fruit, broth, stuffing, roaster pans, basically everything you'd need for a Thanksgiving dinner. The distribution starts this weekend, but donations will be accepted through next week.
Next at 6, a local woman is getting the trip of her dreams. We'll explain why Dane County officials have decided to honor her.
And more local news ahead. You have an opportunity to get your hands on memorabilia from an iconic Madison Bar and Grill that is closing after 3 decades. We'll explain how. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 10. A first alert traffic note for tomorrow. Crews will be completing permanent traffic signal installations at the Verona Road and Williamsburg Way intersection. That'll be from 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Temporary stop signs will be used at the interchange ramps while that work is being done. Again, Verona and Williamsburg Way. DOT officials ask you to look out for their crews. Also expect some minor delays. A local woman is getting the chance to do something she never thought possible.
She is traveling west to see one of the most internationally recognized symbols in the United States. Rose Schmidt tells us why this is the trip of a lifetime.
We all have places we want to go and things we want to see. For some of us, our journey starts here at the airport. But for Angela Campbell, her journey starts long before she ever gets here to Dane County Regional.
Okay, you want to go there?
Yes, it's driving me nuts.
You know, that's a funny thing.
Walking into an unsuspecting room.
Hey, guys.
Angela Campbell is about to learn her new destination.
See what you think. You know what that is?
Hey, it
What's
says
that?
my name.
It says your name, and what is this?
No, it's not a check, but a boarding pass that may or may not make it past TSA.
This is an airplane ticket to San Francisco.
You'll find that County Executive Joe Parisi has been a part of Angela's journey for several months. Earlier this year, she accepted an award from the Arc-Dane County, given to people with disabilities who become strong advocates for themselves. That's where he learned about Angela's dream. Not San Francisco per se, but what it's perhaps best known for.
You're going to go to San Francisco and see the Golden Gate Bridge.
Angela is a collector of all things Golden Gate Bridge. She fell in love with it watching a TV show set in San Francisco called Nash Bridges.
Yeah, I have a tiny Golden Gate Bridge that I usually put in my pocket.
As part of her dream vacation from the county,
it was a very tough secret to keep.
Angela gets to go round trip for a long weekend, taking her case manager and job coach Kathy Walters.
What I'm really looking forward to is seeing the Golden Gate Bridge through her eyes.
She's glad the cat's finally out of the bag.
I was definitely surprised. My eyes lit up like, I can't believe this happened.
What's not surprising, though, is that there are dozens of people who want to help her reach her goals.
San Francisco!
Rose Schmidt, News 3 Now.
Angela and Kathy will take off from Dane County Regional Airport in January. Next at 6, the warmer temperatures mean rain returns.
And Gary says it'll move in overnight and continue in the morning. His first alert forecast is next.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now, and we're still on track to have a warmer temperature tomorrow for a little bit.
Yeah, in fact, I've actually boosted the temperature up into the low 50s for tomorrow. So today was the first time our high temperature was above average since October 27th.
Oh,
so that just shows you. Yeah, it's been a while. But as we look at Doppler track, the snow is up to the north. There are winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings for far northern Minnesota, but to our south and west, precipitation heading our direction is in the form of rain, and that area will expand overnight and reach us by about midnight tonight. Current temperatures are in the upper 30s north and east of Madison, just around 40 here in Madison, and then in the mid-40s to our south and west. And that milder air continues to come in from the south, so we'll actually see our temperatures start rising overnight. And you can see this on future track beginning early tomorrow morning. We'll see pretty widespread rain at that point, temperatures low to mid-40s, and then by 6 a.m., temperatures in the upper 40s as the rain continues through the morning hours. Becomes a little more showery in nature, but by around 11:30 a.m. or noon, notice the temperatures right in the low 50s, and that cold front just out to our west. So the southerly winds will shift to the northwest, and look at how those temperatures start to drop off behind the front, so that by 7 p.m. we're in the upper 30s here compared to the lower 50s that we'll see right around lunchtime. Rainfall amounts probably in the half-inch to inch range across southern Wisconsin over the next 24 hours. Three things you need to know. Of course, it'll be windy and rainy overnight, but that will keep temperatures mild. And then after that, we'll see mild weather tomorrow morning. It will turn colder in the afternoon after that cold front. And then Friday will just be a sunny and colder day with relatively quiet weather. But then we start turning our attention to next week. We have alert days in the forecast for next Tuesday and Wednesday for a storm system that may start out as rain and change over to snow on Wednesday. Now, that's what the older computer models were showing. The very latest ones are starting to shift the path of that storm a little bit farther to the south and east. It would keep us colder and maybe give us a better chance of snow on Tuesday, but maybe clear us out in time for Wednesday, which is a big travel day. So right now it looks like Wednesday, we still have light snow in the forecast and windy conditions with falling temperatures from a morning high of 34. Thanksgiving Thursday will just be partly cloudy with temperatures in the low 30s, and we might see some light snow on Black Friday, at least in the morning with high temperatures in the lower 30s. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam, no rain in Madison yet. High today, 45 degrees, again, above that normal high of 42 for the first time in over 3 weeks. Low of 37, pretty mild as well. Right now we're at 41 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. The winds out of the southeast at 8, and those winds will pick up overnight. You can see temperatures over the next 10 days dropping from the low 50s tomorrow to the mid 30s on Friday, and then going back up again for the weekend, and then dropping off as we head toward the Thanksgiving holiday. Right now temperatures are almost 60 degrees in Des Moines, Iowa, while they're still in the 30s to our north and east. But again, with those southerly winds, our temperatures will start climbing overnight. So our forecast calls for a low of 40 this evening. Then we'll see rain develop overnight. It'll become windy, and those temperatures will actually start to rise. For tomorrow, look for a windy and rainy morning with a high of 52 around lunchtime. The winds shift around to the northwest in the afternoon, and we turn colder as temperatures drop back through the 40s. Again, those clouds, rain coming in overnight into tomorrow morning. Lunchtime high of around 52, and then those temperatures drop off in the afternoon into the low 40s. Look for temperatures to drop into the mid-20s by early on Friday morning. Skies clear out, and Friday we'll see sunny skies, but temperatures will only be in the low to mid-30s. Rainfall amounts about a half-inch to an inch over much of southern Wisconsin. 7 to 10-day forecast. Quiet for the weekend. We'll watch that storm system Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Cold for Thanksgiving, and maybe some light snow for the rest of the holiday weekend.
If you're playing for a state football championship at Camp Randall this week, a current Badger who has won a state title has some advice for you. The story's coming up in sports. Tomorrow, the 44th annual WIA State Football Championships begin at Camp Randall Stadium. 7 division championship games Thursday and Friday. Then everyone goes deer hunting. It started back in August with the first practices, and you got your ticket to state by winning games last Friday. Wanakee quarterback Quentin Keene sure was excited.
This is amazing. No words can describe this. This is unbelievable. We're going to state, baby. Yes, sir! Yes.
We'll have 3 local teams playing for state football titles at Camp Randall. Last year, Blackhawk won the Division 7 title. This year, it's a co-op team as players from Warren, Illinois have joined in. Blackhawk plays Edgar, Division 7 rematch tomorrow morning. 2 Badger Conference North schools play on Friday. DeForest against Menasha, 10 a.m. Division 3. Wanakee and Brookfield East in Division 2 Friday at 1 p.m. In 2015, a young Tyler Beatis and Garrett Groshek led Amherst to the Division 5 state championship. Beatis is now an All-American center for the Badgers. Groshek, who was Amherst's quarterback in 2015, is now a running back for the Badgers. Beatis and Groshek are in a small percentage of high school players who go on to play in college. And Beatis says, if you're playing at Camp Randall in the state finals, enjoy it.
Even if you are playing on, like, this is your last high school game with your high school teammates, your high school friends that you've grown up since kindergarten, and that was big for me. Even when me and Grosh were playing. So I mean, it's a big game for a lot of kids, and definitely leave it all out there, and you don't want to leave any regrets. So just put it all out there and have fun. I think a lot of people think it's more like a job to do this, and it's but it's a privilege. It's what you earn to do. So really embrace the moment and have fun.
Tomorrow night, the Badger men's basketball team plays Green Bay at the Kohl Center. If you're going to the game, don't forget it's a late start, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. It'll be an interesting night for the Badgers' Trevor Anderson, who, of course, played at Green Bay before transferring after his freshman year. Anderson has had a bit of a bumpy ride at Wisconsin. After his redshirt year, he tore up his knee after just 8 games with the Badgers. Now he's getting healthier and looks forward to seeing some old friends with Green Bay tomorrow night.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing my old coaches. I don't know if they're looking forward to seeing me, but I got tremendous respect for those guys. I had to do what I had to do from a personal happiness standpoint. I've loved my time here, and I know I'll continue to love it.
Something finally went right for Marquette this week. Dawson Garcia, a 6'11", 5-star power forward from Prior Lake, Minnesota, commits to Marquette today. Garcia had Minnesota, Indiana, and Memphis in his Final Four, but goes to Marquette because he says it felt like family. And NASCAR driver Jimmy Johnson has announced he's going to retire after the 2020 season. Johnson has won 7 NASCAR driving championships, which ties him with Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt for most in history. Johnson has also won 83 races. That's 6th all time, but at age 45 and after 18 NASCAR seasons, Jimmy Johnson will retire. Retirement, huh?
Good idea, right?
How many more days?
17.
Who's counting?
Final check, Gary?
Yeah, some rain on the way. Won't get here until later on tonight, but temperatures are pretty mild. They're in the low 40s now. We'll actually climb overnight.
Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.